Good morning, Off-Grid fans. I'm back, and look where I am. I'm in another forest, and it's a beautiful sunny day. I mean, look at this. Lovely old big trees, bracken, sunshine. Oh, it's good. It's good. So I'm down in the Forest of Dean, and I've had this truck since start of 2019, end of 2018. I bought it in Coventry or Warwick or somewhere around there. I can't quite remember. So Forest of Dean is now the furthest south I've taken this particular camper, and although it is a lovely spot here, look, all little spots, not many spots can fit in a 7.5 ton truck. I have found one just down here, but the other problem is it's sunny. I could really do with some solar, but look at me van. It's one of the spots I can fit in, and there is a little bit of light coming onto the back, and I've got a tree coming down onto the top. These front panels are never going to get any sun, so literally it's the one back panel that might get into the sun. I've just been having a wander around to see if I can find anywhere better, and you know, like at the moment there might be a bit more sun, but I'd stick out here. At least here I'm right back as far as I can get on this side, and on this side I am as far back as I can get before I start going up that lump. So I'm doing my best to hang my overhang off the track, and this is a nice little break. We are only 10:30 in the morning, so the sun will come round and catch this panel, but that is the only panel that's going to be caught. I'm not going to get any sun on the tops, but it's a nice spot here in the Forest of Dean. And then can't remember if I said in the last video, but I'm intending to head up through Wales, and let me just bag of dog poo. I carry that round in my pocket any longer than I have to. But yeah, Forest of Dean for a couple of days, and then I don't know, maybe Afan, Coedy Brennan, but this, I had decided to do some mountains, and this was supposed to be a trip with my e-bike, but I haven't got my e-bike. I've got my ordinary bike, so I don't know if I'll be able to ride quite as much, but I am going to try, and just having a look to see if I missed any spots on the way in with better sun and whatever. But like most of these, or you know, you get a transporter in, but you wouldn't even get a crafter or a sprinter in, let alone my massive truck. So yeah, nice place, but just not the best sun. But I'll just deal with it, put the Jenny on if I have to. I was on 75% I think last night, so two days since I left where I was plugged in, and yeah, like I might be able to get into this spot here, which might get better at some point, but not now, and it's still angled down. That's the other thing with this spot, is you might be allowed to van here, but it none of it's flat. So, but yeah, that's also, I have a big battery bank, and yeah, but we have got a few days of sun so it'd be nice to harvest some of that sun. I say I'm not sure that it's going to work well, but we'll see. Anyway, it's not so bad. Right. What are you whining at? What have you seen? Oh, he's seen a friend. He's seen a friend. Yeah, right, anyway, cheers. Well, having a wander around the Forest Dean, and yeah, not only was it a beautiful bit of forest around where the van was, it's also a beautiful bit of forest while I'm walking to the visitor centre. Have you seen this behind me? Big straight road in front. Oh, raised up. I think it was an old railway, but just gives you a really nice view into the forest because you're raised up. Freya's loving it, and absolutely hundreds of dog walkers. Not seen a single cyclist yet, but seen about 100 dogs. So I don't think this is the cycling bit of the forest, but I'll go down to visitor centre, walk Freya, have a look around, and see where I'm going on my bike later. Well, just been wandering around the visitor centre and car park, pedal a bike away here at Forest Dean. Back to continuing walking, and back along this lovely old railway that gives you like a raised walkway. You know, you see in the jungles they'll build these raised walkways so you feel up in the canopy, and this I presume it's an old railway track, gives me just them sort of vibes. It's really nice. But anyway, I thought I'd have a check on my phone at what the solar was doing. If you can see, but basically 500 watts of solar coming in. So this morning when I said I wasn't too buzzing with the options in that car park for the van and getting into the sun, well, now getting 500 watts, so maybe not quite as bad as what I thought. But yeah, we will continue and enjoy this lovely forest. Quickly got the camera out. Freya was like, there's something over there. Oh no, stay. And it was pigs, well, wild boar I'm assuming. I got the camera out before I went closer to have a proper look. Wait, Freya, wait. Wait. But they are here. Oi, oi. Come here. He's like, yeah. Bacon, Dad. Bacon. Where have they gone? There's about six pigs, and then we just seen a deer on the other side. Well, I saw it, Freya didn't. But yeah, pigs. Oi, come here, come on. But yeah, that was unexpected to see. I didn't know there was wild boar in Forest Dean, but yeah, nice little extra bit of wildlife to see. There, I don't know if you can see them through all these trees. Wait, no, stay. Stay. Anyway, they were just there. Very close to the van. Right, come on. Because I'm reckoning this track comes out where my van's parked. Right, heel. Heel. Wait, wait. Go on. And there it is. That is where my van's parked. Well, we might have had 71% when we left. And even though the odd bit of sun and I saw 500 watts coming in, we're back to 46 watts coming in. And 73%. So we've not been losing any, but we've not really gained any. That's all good though. There we are, the van in the sunniest spot in the car park, but still in shade. Anyway. Well, look at this beautiful sunny day. It's also a beautiful day because I found out that here at Forest of Dean on the second Friday of every month in the afternoon there's a dig group, and you know I like a bit of trail building, so I've turned up here for the afternoon. Dean Trail volunteers, if you want to donate or get involved, there's some QR codes here, but just search Dean Trail volunteers and you'll find it. And yeah, we're here. It's a 1 o'clock start and I'm 20 minutes early or so we will see. I think this is a bit out of date. It says 18th of the 5th here. I'm raking again. This is the trail we're working on. Decent crew out for a Friday. And we're here on Enduro Hill at Fod. Look at all, can you see them? I'm going the other way. Mum and about 8 babies. And there we are, the van in the sunniest spot in the car park, but still in shade. Anyway, let's go pedalling and see if I can get round the Free Miners XC Trail. I think on this afternoon's walk we've stumbled across a bit of the sculpture trail. I had seen it signposted when I've been bobbing around and did think I might walk it. Set off on a different walk, but we've come along this bit of old railway and all these sleepers have been carved in the middle in a different way. So yeah, I think this is part of the sculpture trail. We'll carry on our Sunday stroll, won't we, Freya? We're having a Sunday stroll, aren't we? I'm not biking today, we're walking. But yeah, it's not been bad here at Forest of Dean. Seen some aurora, done some riding, done some walking, all good. Well, sculpture trail. I'm just actually following a thing on OS Maps, a route on OS Maps, but it seems taking me to one of the other forestry centres, so I'll get to have a look at this as I walk through as well. So, This is the sculpture trail, and these are the sculptures. I think that it came from Whitegate, so maybe this one was the one that I bumped into. Don't know. Might have to come back and do this one properly. I think that I'm going sort of up here and yeah, back to here, and that white gate is near, like I'm over here in the van. Might be a miserable day today, all wet and sort of misty, cloudy, but look at these trees. Even today, because we're in autumn, you know, all the greens turning browns, there's some reds, there's some yellows. So when we're in a more naturalised forest rather than a plantation, the colours are immense, even on a miserable day like this. Well then, final walk at Forest of Dean. Didn't intend staying here as long as I did, but I do get used to not moving around. But I did manage to sort of go to Cannock, just spend one day, one night, set off, but then well, the weather hasn't been good for the places that I was thinking of going to ride to, and the walking here for Freya has been great. So now we're off to do the sculpture trail. I've seen it, we've even seen bits of the sculptures on some of our other walks, but today we are setting off to do the entire sculpture trail before we leave, and I'm also on a secret mission. Catch up with you, show you what that is in a second. And here we are. This is where the secret mission will take place. On this little bit of a bike track, so there's the car park. This is the way to the main Forest of Dean. It's obviously a very well used and old bit of bike track, but just down here, some of you will know I have a pet hate for spike hazards. Now imagine coming round here on a bike, and imagine not quite making this corner, and boom, look at that. Look at that for a spike hazard. So I have brought by the power of Silky. And there we go. No more spike hazards. I even did that one was so rotted. But these two, we're coming towards, really didn't like them, particularly that high one. So anyway, that's it. Spike hazards gone. I can leave Forest of Dean knowing that I didn't keep missing that, and finally got to bring my Silky. And here we are. We've been at this junction, the White Gates junction. Up there was the sculpture that I showed you the other day on the old railway lines, and I've been passing here because this is like less than a mile from the Forest of Dean visitor centre, and here sculpture trail, unsoiled, soil unsoiled. Anyway, let's go and have a look at some sculptures. Come on, Freya. Whoosh. I'm not really the best at poetry, but oh, there is a poem here. Probably better flicking my camera the other way. Not that it'll make much difference on the screen. I am compelled to wake this ground, to rake the dusk and drum a sound, to speak of the living that cannot be refused, to pay respect, earn my due. They will not hear until we wail for the dead. Still we mark the forest, earth stained in red. As I barefoot place this blackened space, without all the imprint upon its face. Fault it not, it gives us all. Fault it not, it gives all that it can. It endures, but the homes, the worst of man, trampling dreams and scrambling serenity. This is the forest, it is here for the many. This is the land, a thing of need. We watch it hoarded, a thing of greed. Still this is our place of rest and toil. We mark the forest, we dream it unsoiled. But yeah, I thought I'd read that to you because, well, I read it to myself. And I thought it was quite nice. As I say, not the best reader of poetry, so sorry for butchering the odd line there, but I hope you enjoyed it. And that was one of the sculptures. Let's go to the next one. What are you doing? Enjoying this sculpture? This one's called Fire and Water Boats. It's a bit wet on the ground, but basically it appears to be logs carved into sort of canoey things. Not sure if there's any great meaning. Don't know where the fire comes in as well as the water boats. But anyway, on to the next. Not a sculpture as such on this sculpture trail, but a 150-year-old beech that's had a hard life. It's already broken at some point, regrown, that top trunk there, and then this one that comes out lies along the ground, and they've cut it here, but this bit is still all alive. So yeah, 150-year-old, and no wonder it's a massive habitat. Look at the old gnarled trunk with fungus growing on it, with loads of dead wood in there for invertebrates and maybe even a woodpecker. But yeah, in some ways that bit of nature was more impressive than that last sculpture on what was it, Fire and Water Boats. Anyway, let's go and see what else we can find. I did like the sleepers that we saw the other day. So back to the Iron Road sculpture, where all of these sleepers have been carved in the middle, each with a different carving. Although maybe them two look similar. Can't quite tell what they were supposed to be. But yeah, we saw these the other day, but this is a better view of each one. You can always pause the video as I passed each one if you wanted a closer look. I know I've said this before, I think I said it on the first day, but these old railway tracks where they've, you know, lifted them up so they're the same height for the old railway, but it really does give you like a raised walkway, you know. I mean, we're not in the Amazon or whatever, but you can see there's a dip here down to the stream. This has been raised up, it's even higher than like this side of the hill, and it just gets you like up into that mid-level canopy when you look across. So there was a sign that said the sculpture I was looking for was called Searcher. And I walked along looking for it, and I wondered if the the Searcher sculpture. Maybe there was something I missed, but I just enjoyed looking off the vantage of the track and into the forest, searching for whatever it was I was looking for, but really just enjoying nature. So anyway, sculpture trail turns off here and heads this way. So this is the way we go. So this one's called In Situ, and on this thing here it says clear circle, define border. I don't know if this is the circle you're supposed to clear and define the border and what that'll do. So we will carry on following these little purple signs of the sculpture trail. And this is the sound of silence. It seems the Grove of Silence is just somewhere to sit, and I like a bit of forest bathing. The Japanese have a word for it, I'll put it on the screen, but a nice place to, I don't know if you can see that, let me zoom in, but basically that says silence. And we've got these sort of thicker, well, thinner trees, but more of them this way, and then bigger trees scattered around with some monsters, including this one. So yeah, you just get they've cut it out a little bit here so light comes through into this little grove, and you can sit on this seat and bathe in the forest. Now luckily I spend enough time in forests and I do a lot of forest bathing, and I do honestly believe it's good for the soul. But today we will carry on to the next one rather than have a sit down following the signs. So this one's called Cone and Vessel, and I can see a pine cone there and an acorn holder there. So I think that's what it'll be, and if it is just a loop to see it, I've seen it from this side of the bog, so I won't bother. Oh well, this sign says Sculpture Trail is up here and not back along there, so I think it does curl off to see that that one. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe people have, but you were supposed to view it from where I viewed it, because there's not a proper path here. Well, good to see I'm doing things right. We'll carry on, find the next one. Now I don't know what this looked like at the start or how long these art installations have been in, but it's now fenced off, stop you climbing on it, and it appears to be sort of concrete blocks in mesh into a pyramid up there, and well, it's telling me to loop and go back. There's a little path round, so I'm going to go around. It appears like it's fallen over, all cracked on this side, falling down. Maybe I should go all ancient aliens. The Aztecs of Forest of Dean built this pyramid temple in, when were the Aztecs? When were the Aztecs? 500 and 800 AD? Anyway, the Aztecs of Forest of Dean, 800 AD, that's what I'm saying. They built this concrete structure Well, that's the weirdest one yet. It is literally just falling down concrete blocks. I don't know if it was falling down from the start, but it's now overgrown. Nature's taken it back, and it looks probably better than if it was standing properly. It's a weird one. Anyway, on to the next one. I much prefer the tree with the sound of silence than a load of concrete blocks dumped in the middle of a forest. Well, there's no sculpture name for this one. I think this is one that people have put in because it's loads of stones stacked, and didn't see a little purple sign. There is a bench under this nice beech tree which I like, and this is where the sculpture trail goes. But yeah, people have decided that as there was no sculpture here but a bench, they'd stack stones and make an extra one. Buzzing. And again, this sculpture isn't named. This is a sculpture. It's like a box up high. Probably better the other way around. Yeah. Don't know about this one. Angle iron. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Knock on it and ring it like a bell. Oh well, we'll carry on. It's been a nice walk anyway. And it Freya. I enjoyed walking in Forest of Dean. So another sculpture in the distance, another bench. I do quite like how the bench is pointing at this nice pond with the trees dipping in, and not quite at the sculpture. Nature is often the best. Here lies the gas main. No. The guest oak designed yeah, 2010 was the guy that this was dedicated after. Threshold, smooth red concrete fake rock on the outside, and then more sort of real looking concrete fake rock on the inside. It's a thing. This is nicer, even with this pond with its murky water, little bits of rain dripping in. This pond is a nicer pond, even letting Freya have a drink, than this sculpture. But maybe I'm just missing the inner depth. But to me, nature is so good. Why do we need concrete in it? Another sculpture without a name, or at least I missed the name. We have a rock, and then we have a tree trunk that's been cut into sections and slightly rearranged. Oh, it's not a tree trunk, it's metal. So it's a metal fake tree trunk that's been chopped into 3 sections. And a stone. Well, I think that's better than the last one that was just some concrete next to a nice pond. We are now on the lookout for one called Coal Measure Giants. And I can't see anything, so we're again looking off to the side, see if we can spot anything. But can't see, so we'll just carry on. We found it. This must be Coal Measure Giants, and it looks similar to the one that didn't have a name other than it's now on its side. So this one's flopped over, and I did see what I thought were footsteps in the middle one before, or footholds, but actually you can rearrange them like this. So I don't know what it symbolises, but the rock can fall over and the tree trunk that was wobbly can be made into that sort of shape. Looks like it needs a swing underneath it. But anyway, that must be Coal Measures Giants, and it turns out that all it wanted me to do was walk half a mile up this forest road to see the other version of this that's at that end, and that's why it only told me this was called Coal Measures Giants until I got to here and found out I got to turn around. And I was off staring into the forest, which, you know, I like to do anyway. This side was better, all natural. This side you can sort of see, I think once it was all one plantation, and it's been thinned quite a lot, but it's still just Scots pine, larch mix, something like that. But you can sort of see when you look up into it, because I was obviously staring looking for the sculpture, that there's been a fair bit of thinning over the years with all the stumps to allow the trees to get bigger. But yeah, I think it once was just a plantation. You can sort of see everywhere else in Forest of Dean has been a mix of trees, but up here it is just logging timber. So it might not be one, I think I can see larch and Scots pine, so there might be other sorts of pine, but there's no broadleaf, there's no hardwood. And being that we're in autumn and we get all the lovely colours demonstrated here, even in the bracken, green to brown, up into this oak tree, greens and browns, lovely time of year. The beeches as well have given us some fantastic colour, as have the chestnuts. But yeah, just look at that colour, look at that colour. So yeah, when this side of the forest has been all autumnal, and this side has been not, then I definitely prefer looking into the proper forest with native deciduous stuff. It is a good job that I do like walking. But yeah, on the back of that sculpture trail, see, here's where it said Coal Measure Giants, and there's the one that I said had no name. And yeah, it's the same at the other end, but deconstructed, fallen down, made in. Can't read any meaning into it though. And on to the next one, and this one's called Echo, Echo, Echo. So I think what we've got here is a concrete. Is it concrete? No, it's plastic. A plastic rock face that I must admit looks pretty good against a real rock face. So the plastic echoing, and it does echo when you knock on it. But that's that's film set quality rock face. Oh, you can see at the side. And you cut it to be plastic. And a real rock face. Plastic, real. Yeah. Yeah. I like this tree stump here. You know? But why do we need something fake when there is something real? I suppose just to show us the contrast. Yeah, better that one. Have you found it, Freya? Have you found it? So we spotted one called Cathedral, and we've been looking around for what it could be, and nothing obvious stands out. It is a beautiful bit of nature with all these very tall trees, and maybe cathedral with its tall spires, tall trees. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know if these are redwoods, but they are big old trees. So maybe, despite being able to hear the road over there, which is annoying, doesn't give you that feeling of being in nature when you can hear the traffic. So yeah, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something just here. Oh no, it's just a fallen tree. But yeah, if that was Cathedral, it was a nice bit of nature. Not sure what to expect. Again, I'm lost looking for hanging fire. I don't know if it just wants me to wait and soak in the beauty of the forest here. And it is a nice bit of forest. There's the sign there that says hanging fire, and maybe you're just supposed to hang around and look from this bit of an elevated viewpoint across the lush forest. Maybe, maybe not. But when there's another sign pointing the way out, it sort of says it's done. So I think that hanging fire was another nature one. And you know, I've been absorbing nature all the way through, so that's all good for me. But if there was something that I was supposed to spot, I missed it. Just spotting this future car park free one by the looks of it for future use. Bit more sunshine coming through. And this is Speechhout Woods, my favourite ancient wood pasture, big oaks, and it's a triple SI. Oh no, this one is garish, and could see it as I approached. Really doesn't look good. We're just there saying this is ancient forest, speech wood, triple SI, and then we come up to this sculpture called Gathering, and it's garish. Look at that. Look at it. It's just doesn't fit in with the forest. Can't see it has any meaning, at least to me. But this, in an ancient woodland, just looks out of place. I know that different sculptures will resonate with different people, different things, and You know, a bit ago we had the one with the pine cone and the empty acorn pod called, what's it called, corn and pod, but you know what I mean, to me that was like, yeah, we're in a forest and spreading the seeds of life around, and it didn't look out of place, the colours, you know, fitted in with the forest. And here we're in a triple SI and you've got the most garish sculpture that we've had to date, even more garish than the concrete ones, and even the plastic wall, at least it looked good, looked right, even if it was made of plastic in the forest. And but you know, it did echo the nature. But yeah, let's hope that's the most garish of the ones. We're approaching the end of the sculpture trail now, but we started halfway around because that's where I'm parked. I'd just seen these signs. I thought before I leave I will follow this sculpture trail and see what the crack is. But yeah, let's crack on, hopefully find better stuff. Found another, I think this is one I saw the other day and I can't really read it. At least when they had the poem on the board, it was sort of clean. Like if I had a brush, you could brush it off, or if I really concentrated, I could read it. But I haven't. But we will carry on following, and yeah, it's just a bit too much, especially having to clean up the top for the first. Needs a good brush. Someone should give it a brush. Freya, come and rub your ass on this. And here we are, end of the sculpture trail. But as I say, we started at the far end, so we've still half to do. But yeah, let's crack on. So I don't know if this is the first sculpture on the sculpture trail, if we reach the end of it. I think it's called Meander, because it does sort of meander round. Looks like it's made up of planks that have been steamed and twisted into shape. And we're back on with the signs, and we will carry on. If that's the first one and you meander around the forest, then cool. Did you see a Gruffalo? Did you see a Gruffalo? Yeah, not the best art installation in the forest, sculpture wise. But I do love the fact that forests are for everyone. So they've got the Gruffalo trail for the kids. Obviously I've been riding my bike, walking around. No excuse for anyone from any demographic not to get out into the forest and enjoy some forest bathing. It really is good for the soul. The Heart of Stone. That's what this one's called. Looks like it broke at some point, had to be repaired. I'm guessing this is slice the stone to get out the bit that you are going to work and sculpt, and then waste it on a meaningless sculpture. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but what's come out of it isn't no, nothing in there. I thought maybe I was missing something. Maybe there's something in that hole. Let me have a look at that footage. Well, I wasn't missing anything. maybe I'm not a deep enough artist to understand the meaning of that, but I like the concept of cutting out the middle rock, but I'd have thought you could have found something more profound to carve from the middle bit, showing you that there's, you know, beauty within the middle of it, rather than it just being a bit of smooth rock with a hole in it. As I say, maybe I'm not cultured enough, maybe I'm missing something, but to me, I miss that. Yasasin. I don't know what a yasasin is, but I could spot it because we sort of come over there and up here, so you could spot these big white painted wooden it's been fairly vandalised, people carving the names in. Looking at you, Lola. And I think as a kid, or if it was dry, might try and walk along it, balance on it, but as art, not sure. But at least it's wood in a forest, and the only out of placeness really is the white paint. You eating chestnuts? Have you found a way to eat chestnuts? You have, puppy dog. And just there was the white wood structure, and then I've come here and it's like, oh, those white gates. This is where we joined the sculpture trail. So that for me was the last sculpture. You enjoy your walk, Freya? Did you enjoy your walk? Because we were about a mile or so, maybe a mile and a half back to the van, and then that's us done, and we're off out of this forest. So now that I'm off me blocks, all the water's dripping off, but you've got to remember to leave no trace, so I always have a quick look round just before I go. You seem all good. Quick van tip: if you're doing winter in the UK, one of these. I've started using it on this side, but it just get rid of your condensation really well. Caught your window vac. They are really good.